Hey friends, hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good night. I've had a doozy of a day. I'm gonna be honest with you. Do people even still use the word doozy? I don't know, but we'll use it tonight, and maybe you can use it with me. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back and redeem it. Um, Sometimes when I've had the day like I've had today, I need encouraging words like this. And there is one that's found in Matthew chapter 22 that I just think is awesome. Some religious leaders are seeking to try to paint Jesus into a corner. And if you know anything about Jesus, Jesus doesn't get painted in corners. Jesus flips rooms, and people find themselves painting themselves in corners. Like, how did I get here? But they confront Jesus and they ask Jesus, Jesus, what's the greatest law? And in our minds, sometimes we think about law, we think of state, constitutional, national laws. But in their mind, they're asking, referencing the 613 laws found in the Old Testament, in the Torah. And many times they were so committed to memorizing all 613 that many of these religious leaders would walk around with prayer shawls. I've got one here. And at the edge, the kanah, the edge of the fringe of the prayer shawl, there was 300 strings on each side. There was some strings on the corners with 5 different knots on each one. And then it added up 613 laws that they would literally walk around wrapping their finger in each string, remembering each and every one. And now they think they got Jesus. Hey, Jesus, what's the greatest one out of all these? And Jesus answers simply. He just says, yeah, guys, easy. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second law is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. I think sometimes it can be a lot like these guys. We can end up picking up some baggage along the way in our spiritual journey with the Lord. We can end up picking up a lot of extra expectations, either from the world or even things we put on ourselves, we frame on ourselves, that Jesus is not even in. See, I truly believe that Jesus is still bringing rest to law-weary people, people that are walking around with oppressive loads of religion on them. And Jesus says, hey, let me lift that load off of you and come and point you back to the law of love. Imagine how they were feeling. 613 of these. They've been walking around memorizing each and every one, and this guy has the audacity to sum it up in 2. I just realized I'm wearing this hoodie. It's got 2 strings. Think about it. I just didn't plan this, but it's got 2 strings on it. And imagine if you've got 2 strings laying around. Imagine doing this. You got 1 string here. Think about this vertical relationship between us and God, loving the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And then the second law being a lot like that, except it's going horizontal, loving our neighbor as ourselves. See, even the cross is pointing us to this idea of love being the ruler of our lives. And isn't love a much better ruler than the law of oppression? Be lifted up today. The Lord loves you. He's calling us to love him and love those around us. Be blessed today. Have a good night.